Yo, what's up, guys? We are back and we are live once again. Sim Racing 604. We are live for the season finale, season 6. We got Giancarlo here tonight with us. Unfortunately, tonight, Nick won't be joining us, so we're going to have to wait until we see him again next season. But we're ready to get started here with the finale. I think we have an interview going on. Giancarlo, tell us what's up, man.
Yeah, hey guys, it's Jean-Carlo here. We're joined by Trevor Stade, who is currently the number 2 points leader for the championship. If we could pull up those championship graphics, actually show some of those points. Trevor, we've just got a couple of minutes before you're actually out on track and getting your warm-up lap in. How has the season been going for you? What are your expectations here for Spa?
I haven't been all that quick at Spa so far, but I'm gonna try and do what's got me this far in the championship and just be consistent. Um, haven't won a race yet, but I have 3 second place finishes, so just trying to be there to capitalize on mistake. Carter looks really fast, so I don't know if I'll be able to catch him on pure pace, but if I don't make any mistakes, then maybe we got a shot.
Yeah, you're currently running 7th right now in qualifying. Are you just kind of hoping to steer clear of everybody? Have you had a lot of practice time in the rain?
Not a ton of practice time in the rain. Obviously I wish I had more now that it's pouring at the start. But I've had enough. I feel confident in my ability. Uh, yeah, I believe.
Awesome. And we're looking for a big grid next week, since this is the season finale race. It's been a wonderful pleasure watching you guys race. We got to move on. We got to get Carter in here just so we can get his viewpoint. And really good luck to your race tonight, Trevor.
Thank you so much.
And as we pull Carter close in, hey, Carter, it's Giancarlo and Gerson with the broadcast team. Are you hearing us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Hey, excellent work on qualifying. You're currently running pole position. The season's been going wonderfully well for you, even if maybe the last race wasn't. How are you feeling for Spa today?
Honestly, kind of nervous, but pumped at the same time. Because wet races are always kind of challenging. And I'm never the greatest at them, but they're really fun. So I'm just kind of hoping, even if I don't get the win in either this race or the championship, I mean, it's still fine. So as long as I can be ahead of Stayed by 10 points, I win it. So I don't even expect to win, if I'm being honest. So that was a lot of words, so I'm sorry for that.
No worries, and we know you're out on track and you're running your warm up lap. I'm not trying to ask you anything too complex. He's currently running 7th in qualifying, so you've got a good head start on him so far. Hopefully, turn 1 goes well for you, or even lap 1, and that you don't get caught up in too many instances. Are you excited for next season? Do you have any plans to improve upon next season, or are you planning to run in split 1?
My current plans are to run the split 2. I can't really do Tuesdays too well. There's a couple of things blocking what I could do, but at the same time, I may or may not have to miss one race on split 2. So it's just my current plans are split 2, and which would be, if I can and if it allows me to try and fight for the lead. But at the same time, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But that's my plan so far.
I hear you. And as we're looking at the qualifying or the championship points, excuse me, even if you and Trevor were actually to drop down, Corkle could still snatch up the championship win if there were some DNFs or something disastrous. So, all the best to you tonight, and good luck in your race. And we hope it's a good one and clean one.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so coming into the points, Carter doing a great job. He's led this race, and not sorry, this race, but this championship pretty much the entire time. Although State and Cork have really brought the fight, and so we're gonna hope that they're able to bring the fight to him as well, and some other guys we can name: Alex Gomez, Justin G, Mike Mad Dog Latsis, hopefully Leonard Cachola. We saw Max Graff with a third podium last weekend. Marcus Zyman, very quick as well. So definitely from our top 15, I do expect a lot to see from those guys tonight.
Yeah, we've got Nicholas Lemon, Brian Flaherty, Brett Vaughn, Thomas Knudsen, Nick Otto, Conrad Abbott, Martin Warmington. They're coming to the end of the lap, so we got to go quick. Brevin Yeski, Michael Sika, Davin Sturdivant, Garrett Humphrey, Ezekiel Espindola, Corey Robbins, Adam Baker, and John Penders in that 30th position.
And rounding us out, Mike Lewis, Kai Berman, Nick Green, Bruce Hopkins, Louis LeBeau, Doug Gatto, Denny Locke, Clarence Smith, Lucas Saw, Zenny Glenondidi, Graham Pinkston, and Patrick Wright. So, yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting night tonight, I would say, especially with the current weather on track.
Yeah, it is wet out there, guys. I know there's been a few guys that have really been putting in a lot of practice. The expectation that it's going to be wet. We saw last week at Snetterton, it was almost horrific with some of the situations that they're getting into. So we're hoping for a little bit more, clean racing this time around, and not too many spins. But again, there are guys out there who have not spent a lot of time in the wet, and they might be putting in fast qualifiers, but the race situation is completely different.
Yeah, I know for sure that Zyman and Corkle have really done their best to simulate these conditions in practice. So it will be interesting how close the fight to close will be. But I think, like you said, there's a lot of variables tonight, and anyone can win, I think.
Yeah, as we're coming around to the last turn before the start finish, Gerson, I'm going to allow you to do the honors for the season finale announcing of the start.
Oh man, don't make me emotional. It's been an interesting season. You know what? It always happens at the end of the season that I get attached to every driver, and I'm saddened as to whether they'll stick or not. So this is for you guys. Thank you for making it an awesome season, and I'm glad we've been able to bounce back from that first stream in Imola. So thank you guys for sticking as well. Thank you for everybody in chat. Mike Sim Racing 604. Thank you, man, for allowing us to do this as we approach the line for the last time in season 6. And there we go. We're racing here in Spa. It is a go, and looks like Trevor Stade is getting in the middle between Justin G. Great job by Carter Close getting away as he goes through Eau Rouge. Clean exit through Radion as he's followed close by Marcus Zayman. Jonathan Corco, good exit as well as we come a little back toward Justin G. It looks like Trevor Stade and possibly Jeffrey Bray are having a bit of a race, as well as looks like Justin G is dropping a little back. Max Graff sending it up a bit as well, but it's getting a little tricky. But hopefully everything's going good so far.
Yeah, not seeing too much even in the back of the pack. There's not too many collisions. Once we do get some of those sorted out with the race positions, everybody's really trying to keep clean because it is so critical in the rain. Everything is slowed down. So really, you can almost think of this as a second warm-up that's a little bit more nervous.
Yeah, close moment there for Casper Minda as Zenny Glenondidi gets around the inside. Coming back to the leader, everything good so far. Looks like Carter Close is definitely dominating this lap. A little bit of slip, kind of to his advantage, I would like to think.
Yeah, as we saw, we didn't see, but Glenn Ondidi actually going very wide around Casper Minda. Back in the pack for the 10th position. We got a little bit of a truly train starting to build up with Mike Smith just behind Minda, with Ed Berger just behind him, and followed closely by Clark Abbott. Or sorry, that's Conrad Abbott, not Charles.
So far, so good as we go through campus. Not a lot of mistakes so far. Carter now coming around Black Chamont. Good amount of speed, definitely finding a lot of traction in the wet, as it looks like Corkle, not so much grip. That was very wide. That's going to allow Mad Dog to really close the gap to third place.
Yeah, Mad Dog with a hungry pack behind him of Gomez, G and Stade. Stade being the second place championship runner. Any little mistake here, coming into this last corner will just send them flying past you. So Mad Dog's really got to be defensive. Make sure he's keeping up his speed, keeping that momentum, and it's just so supremely hard in the rain.
Yeah.
As we see, a car is sideways. I believe that was
Casper Minda.
Casper Minda. Unfortunate for Minda, as he was running in 10th place position, now falling down back in the field to about 16th, with Espindola just coming up behind him.
Yeah, I think that's the real challenge that you were talking about that we're going to see, as Jeffrey Bray almost challenges Trevor Stade. Great job by him keeping it clean. Although I can't say the same for the trio here, as Alex Gomez keeping Justin G behind.
And we didn't catch it on screen, but Trevor Stade actually did encounter an unfortunate spin just coming out of Radion, and now he's falling in just behind Tom Knudsen.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Trevor. It's going to all come down to his pit strategy now. Yeah,
hopefully it looked not too fast, so he's still drifting a little bit around the track, maybe showing off a little bit of the skills. If he can't be running up front, maybe he can make it a little flashy.
For sure, that's an intentional slip. Yeah, but Carter so far showing us kind of what he's done all season, keeping it in front and staying there.
Yeah, really impressed with Carter. And, the other person I'm really impressed with his debut season is Mark Zeiman. He's running in P2 right now. And, keeping ahead of that truly train of Bray, Gomez, Guy, and Latsis. And him and Corkle have almost trading positions in qualifying. They're very close, less than a tenth from each other. But really impressed with his debut season, especially because he confided in us, and I'm gonna go ahead and just let the cat out of the bag, and that he actually came from the PlayStation series, the consoles, before making his jump into PCs this season.
Wow, that's pretty surprising. That's a lot of skill to pick up, I would say.
Oh, and absolutely, and he's been killing it with the rookie series as well. So he's a very talented, very knowledgeable guy, and just a real surprise this season. So don't discount those console drivers, guys. They can be very, very good.
Yeah, as we saw there earlier, Conrad Abbott doing a great job of getting around Corey Robbins to curve Paul Runda. It looks like Corey Robbins had a little bit of loss of traction there, as Martin Warmington is starting to close the gap now to P13. We're going to keep an eye on these guys tonight as we look through Radion. So far, so good. Not a lot of trouble. Stade now falling behind Minda in 21. And it looks like Nick Gatto goes for a little pirouette there. Leonard Cachola and Michael Sika. Almost a little bit of contact, but great job by Leonard. Although Michael Sika not giving it up just yet. I'm not sure if Leonard would have lifted there, as it could have been a potential penalty for collision. Although it didn't look like they made contact.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and look, see if I can find something that might have happened.
That's a spin for Carter Close.
Carter Close taking a little bit of a dive.
That was a lucky click to catch it like that.
Again, the commentator's curse. It's either we're on you or we're off you, and that's when it's going to happen, guys. So you can always blame us.
That was terrible. That's unfortunate for Carter Close. Moving now down to P6, although for Zeiman, I think that was kind of a blessing in disguise.
Well, for blessing in disguise in the front, but not in the back, as he's still got Corkle a second and a half. Now, they were pretty close in qualifier time, but that doesn't mean that they'll be consistent. So Corkle looks like he is developing a little bit of a gap to Zyman. Zyman's, let's see, his last was a 232.7 with Corkle running a 232.9. So about 2/10 off for the lap. We'll see as that goes into averages and see if that gap actually develops a little bit larger.
Yeah, let's go on board here with this lap with Corkle. And as you can see in his windshield, that is a lot of water. That's a lot of spray coming from the car ahead as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if a dry line actually comes in. I don't, with an hour and a half, it's questionable. It is heavy rain for the next 30 minutes, so it's unlikely that we may see a dry line, but that's not to say that that we could be wrong and one does develop.
Yeah, going through a Rouge, that's a lot of lift from the McLaren. It almost sounded like it took him quite a bit of time to really find some grip to get flat out again. Yeah, you can hear it through the apex. He's being very gentle with the throttle on exits.
Yeah, it's you don't want to upset the car too much. And once you get that car sideways in the rain, it's like you get a little bit nervous. It's like, was it something that I'm doing? If I hit something, is it going to slip out on me even more so than if you're running in the dry? So it's always better to play it safe. Maybe he can pick up some of those spots on strategy in the pits, and he's still got to stay at least 10 points or 5 spots ahead of Trevor Stade, who is currently running in the 21st position. So he's well enough there, but we got to see how this shakes out in pits.
Compared to Latsis, Corkle's doing a great job of chasing his opponent. I would almost like to say that in a couple laps we will start to see Corkle and Zyman pull away.
Yeah, they are pulling a big gap between Latsis. Latsis still has Justin G behind him. As we're looking on the back wing of Corkle, Latsis with Justin G right there, and just behind Justin G is Alex Gomez, who's just less than a half a second behind G. It's a tough one for third right now. I'm gonna call this as probably G will be getting around him through Eau Rouge. On this next lap, he's just keeping it very close, allowing enough space to be had, and he's setting himself up right now as he goes around on the outside, forcing Latsis onto the inside. And G looks like he's got the exit. He's already coming up side by side. They're going to go too wide through Eau Rouge. Are they going to go too wide? We'll see. As G pulls ahead, Latsis pulls in behind, and looks like Gomez kind of loses out a little bit as he stays behind Latsis. Oh, and we got a spin by G in Eau Rouge. Latsis, Gomez, and close all together. Latsis had to lift a little bit just to avoid G, and that allows Gomez to pull into the position ahead with Carter close on the outside on the inside of Latsis, and Latsis allows him to take that position. Call it safe. Don't fight too hard. It's still early days. Unfortunate though for G, man. That was it's one of those the worst things that can happen is Eau Rouge. What a terrible mistress she is.
Yeah, that was terrible luck. Although there really wasn't anything else that he could have done to save it, really. Do you think it's possible that he was just a little too confident after the overtake with Latsis?
It's hard to say being in that position when you're racing. As we're seeing Gomez take a little spin, and he gets nailed by Latsis as he took the spin into his front bumper. Unfortunate for Gomez. That looked like a pretty hard hit too. So hopefully he doesn't have too much damage. That's going to allow Carter Close to run back into third place. with Gomez now out of that fight.
You know, it seems like we're losing our leaders like flies here tonight.
Yeah, it's, you know, like we said, you got to stay consistent. You got to stay safe. Try as much as you can to keep that grip, but Mother Nature is making it hard.
Coming back here with Marcus Zyman, still in the lead, although Corkle is still behind. We're gonna have to start to monitor the gap to Corkle, as he's currently about 2 seconds behind. Hopefully, Corkle is able to get into the ones here soon, although it looks like Close is not too far behind now. Looking at their lap times, Zyman just put in a 2:32.2, while Corkle is about 0.3 slower. Although I think the real banger here is that Carter Close is pulling about 0.4 faster than Zyman.
Yeah, he's running a 2:31.8 to 2:32.2 for Zyman, and that's within 5 seconds of Zyman, so he's going to be pulling maybe half a second, 0.4 of a second each lap that'll allow him to get up to Corkle. But if Corkle can defend against him, that will slow him down and allow Zyman to run away. So maybe Corkle doesn't want that. Corkle could still clinch the championship if something were to happen to Close. But we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. It's a long race.
Yeah, great move by Jeffrey Bray getting around Mike Latsis through Lake Holmes. Fantastic job. Definitely carrying a lot of speed down Kemmel Straits. Keeping it nice and tight. Looks like Jeffrey Bray is not out yet. And looking at the board here, it looks like we have a pretty close gap there with Zenny Glenn Ondidi, as he's followed by Justin G. Pretty good battle here for 8th place as they follow Ed Berger.
And you didn't catch it on stream, but Latsis and Bray were going side by side through Double Gulch and actually ended up colliding with Bray a little bit, who sent him a bit wide. So Bray is now running a little bit further, just about a second behind from Latsis. Latsis getting a little argy-bargy tonight, saying, look, it's my racing line. You guys can all toss off.
Yeah, Mad Dog's not tucking those shoulders in. He's running wide.
Hot Scotch Shot says in Twitch chat, Latsis racing smart.
Let's go ahead and pick someone who just might be having some good luck, hopefully. Bruce Hopkins. Although, as I say this, that almost looked like Trevor State for a moment. Rob Ruggiero leading him in P15. We haven't talked much about Ruggiero tonight.
Yeah, he actually said in the chat that he might not have been able to make it due to work. So it's good to see him running back here, kind of mid-pack with Hopkins just behind him. As we go on board of Hopkins, watching all that spray come up as they go through the bus stop, getting a bit closer under braking. But we'll see if, it looks like Ruggiero is able to take it just outside or just on exit with a little bit more speed there.
Yeah, I was almost hoping for a little bit more aggression from Hopkins, but with this kind of a wet track, I don't know if he was able to find the grip that he needed.
Yeah, and one of the things that somebody pointed out in the chat is, drive-throughs are terribly painful here. It is something like 80 seconds a loss. You've got a really long initial pit entry, which goes through the old pit, the old GT pits, and then you come in through the Formula pits, which is the back F, and you got to go back up through Eau Rouge, and that's all terribly slow because in the rain, you certainly don't want to be speeding too fast where you might hit the barriers.
Yeah, talking about barriers, that was a close call from Ruggiero on Radion. That was very wide, or sorry, that was very tight down the inside. Luckily, he was able to save it from knocking himself out. Although it looks like that has allowed Bruce Hopkins to really bridge the gap now. So Ruggiero is going to have to push it a little more to keep him at bay. Although it doesn't look like it's too possible as Hopkins gets around the inside. And it looks like Corey Robbins a little bit on the outside, and there he comes into Puan. Great job so far, but Bruce Hopkins as Rob Ruggiero goes wide, and P15 is going to come out for Bruce Hopkins.
Excellent move by Bruce Hopkins. And he's pulling quite a gap there.
It doesn't look like it's just going to be Hopkins, as also Corey Robbins now attacking for that spot now. That's tough luck for Ruggiero, although it looks like Robbins is using a little more of the track limits than he'd like.
And I don't want to jump away too quickly, but Carter Close now within a second and a half of Jonathan Corkle. Jonathan Corkle was running a 2:32.7 last lap, so not quite as fast as he wanted. Well, Carter Close running a 2:31.2, so nearly more than a second faster than Corkle has been able to manage in the last lap.
Yeah, and it looks like
that's still. Sorry, go ahead.
That's the best lap so far for Close and for the race.
Yeah, we even have for Mark Zyman, his best lap is a 2:31.7. So Carter was able to beat that by about 5/10. And he is just now hunting down Corkle and saying, look, that top spot was mine. Please just stay out of my way. Hopefully he doesn't incur a drive-through penalty. As it looks to see that we got Mike Lewis stopped on track. I'm not sure why.
And that looks like potentially a DNF for Mike Lewis.
It's unfortunate. The rain is a tough one. And when you're already having a tough first half, it's an even tougher one when you got to keep those positions clean in the second half.
So far, though, not much to really talk about here for Zyman. He's had, after I guess you'd say, Close dipping away, he's really not had much contention.
I see what you did there. Yeah, he's not had a lot of competition. It was mostly kind of accidents or unluckiness that end up taking him away from his positions. We saw that at Donington, where he ended up having a little bit of contact, went a little bit wide, and then when he came back on track, he got spun. And after talking to him in the last race at Snetterton, it was is just hoping that he's not going to hit the unlucky streak tonight, and that his karma will catch up and say, hey, you actually deserve this one.
Yeah, just having a look here now through a couple of little groups that we see on track. It looks like we have the number 52 of Mad Dog Lattis kind of leading his own pack here as Jeffrey Bray and Alex Gomez follows. Coming into bus stop, Alex Gomez, not enough to go around the outside. Great defend by Jeffrey Bray, definitely keeping it tight. Although it looks like La Source might be the move for Alex Gomez as he gets behind, gets a little toe. What's Jeffrey Bray going to do as we come into the corner? It looks like he's defending pretty early, getting in the middle of the track.
And it looks like Gomez is just able to get a little bit better exit. He's trying to set himself up so he doesn't get held back when he gets on that throttle. Coming through La Source, and now we're going through Eau Rouge, and you can't go side by side, so you can only really hope that you start to catch him through Rodillon, or the Camel Straight. Sorry. And it looks like he's going to the inside, but he just had a little bit of a wobble, which might have slowed it down a little bit. That's going to cause them going side by side. He decides to give it up and say, Bray, I'll get you next lap.
Yeah, that was, I want to say that was almost a little too safe from Alex Gomez. Definitely feels like Jeffrey Bray had a lot more lift, coasted a lot longer than Alex Gomez did. But you know what, with an hour still to go, I think that was the best call, but I would have liked to see a little more aggression.
Yeah, these guys really, we're only an hour and 8 minutes in. We had 22 minutes of some exciting wet racing, and we still got a whole another hour left. As I'm going to keep harping this repeating track is, we've got Clarence Smith off track sideways, trying to find a spot to rejoin, and this Truly train is just not allowing him.
He's going to have to find some spot
rejoin
here after Ruggiero. And it looks like he does.
Yes, he was kind of sideways at Lacombe as he comes into the downhill. That's a tough one. Just watching all your competitors go by and saying bye-bye. Good. I'll see you guys at the pits.
Yeah, this is definitely going to open up for Justin G now that he's into the top 10. He's definitely climbing back these positions after that wipeout we saw through Radion.
Yeah, and I think that's going back to Alex Gomez and your question earlier. He really does have a really great entry into La Source. You can see the speed that he wants to pick up, but he's just not being overly aggressive. We saw with Gomez, he was very aggressive in previous races, which was to his detriment, which dropped him, a spot here, 2 spots there, and just not being able to climb onto the podium because of it. So, if he can keep it clean, run with this top 5 pack, have a strong finish for the end of the season, and then run into the next season, as we saw at the start of the season, where this is his debut season, was that he actually was a fast contender, very fast lapper. As they it looks like they might have cut a little bit through Eau Rouge.
Yeah, it looked like that was more. It looks like that was more Gomez than Bray. Although here he comes now into Lacombe. It still doesn't look like he's going to do it, but that's great job by Jeffrey Bray. Definitely putting the car where it needed to be and just keeping the door shut on Alex Gomez.
And somebody who we're not really covering is actually Max Graf, who's running in the 9th position, who's just running behind Zenny Glenn on DT, who's running in 8th position. He's about a little less than 2 seconds back. He was being hunted down by G, but G is still 10 seconds to make up to Graf. So there's quite a bit of a gap from 10th position up to 1st, almost 30 seconds between.
Yeah, as we left these guys last time, Ed Berger is still doing a fantastic job of keeping that P7 train behind. It doesn't look like Zenny Glenn Onditi has made much of a distance, although visually that's how it looks. I believe he has caught up a bit, and I think that he has dropped Max Graf quite a ways.
I think really, you mentioned Berger. He has been having an excellent time this season. I think, once he really got his wheels underneath that Aston, he really found his pace, and he's really been able to keep within that top 10 spots, surprising us with a 3rd place podium finish. Or was it? I can't remember now if he actually finished with that 3rd place. No, he did.
Yeah,
it was a 3rd place podium.
At
Donington.
it stayed.
Stayed again sideways. Unfortunate for that Audi.
I think we might have cursed him with his pre-race interview.
Yeah, we should have just left it out and said good luck. Hopefully you make it to the end. And
it doesn't look like he's carrying too much damage, so he'll make it to the end. But I don't think last place is where he pictured himself.
No, not at all. And that's going to make it even harder for pit strategy. That's probably not going to still allow him to get up into positions under pits. So he's going to have outright pace in the rain, and with him having not too much experience in the rain, as we're seeing, it's proving quite difficult.
You know what? It's a hell of an undercut. I'll say that. You know what? Talking about, I don't even have a segue for this. Close got around Corkle.
We missed it. There's so much action going on in the back of the pack. Corkle now building a 4-second gap Close building a 4-second gap between him and Corkle. It's an incredible amount of pace that Corkle has. His best was a 2:31.0, which was his last lap, versus Marcus Zyman's 2:31.8 from his last lap. And Zyman's best was a 2:31.7. So he is just running him down. You know, they're both in the McLaren, and Corkle is just saying, look, I've had the better practice. I've got the better lines. I'm coming for you, Zyman.
Someone who's not coming for anyone is Stave. That was another spin, this time through Lake Holmes.
Yeah, I think we might have given him just a little bit too much pressure. We're sorry about that, Trevor. But you know, it's still a very strong showing for the season, and it's been excellent racing. And hopefully, he's able to make it back up, at least at the halfway point in the positions.
Yeah, and looking on the grid so far, it looks like Jeffrey Bray and Alex Gomez still doing a great job of keeping the race battle going on. I don't know how long these two guys can keep this.
It's, you know, as long as Gomez allows it, is what it looks like. He is happy to run behind him and just keep it clean, keep it safe. Maybe leading might not be his forte, and prefers to follow and then maybe attack at the last second. And speaking of attacking at the last second, Carter Close, I just saw cut near almost a large swath through a Rouge as he comes onto the Kemmel Straight. I'm wondering if, you know, these guys are going to start accruing a drive-through penalty or a time penalty for their cuts.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past Mr. Universe to really get close to the line. I'm smiling if you didn't know that.
There's, you know, if this were iRacing, you know, it would definitely be off tracks there with the 17 cap limit. I think anybody who has raced iRacing knows what I'm talking about, and it can be a brutal mistress as far as your race by keeping it clean when you're constantly going off in order to keep speed and position. It's a little bit more generous here in ACC, but not by much.
Yeah, as you mentioned, generous. It looks like the space that we're starting to see in between cars is pretty. It's pretty generous, if I say so myself.
Yeah, speaking of generous, we got Casper Minda running behind Clarence Smith down in the 20th position. As we saw earlier, Minda, who had a spin in La Source with all sorts of cars going right around him, now hunting down Smith, coming into the Kemmel Straight on the inside, able to take it with Smith backing off just a little bit, saying, hey, I don't want to end my race, so go ahead. And that's Minda into the 19th position.
Yeah, it's real disappointing seeing all the damage on the front end of Clarence's Ferrari. But that's not to take anything away from Casper Minda. Fantastic move. I think both are managing their damage well. And so, you know,
hopefully it's their pit, or their crew chief is saying, hey, you just got a little bit of aero damage. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I really hope they're able to. Oh no, it looks like Michael Sika has ventured out a little wide.
Taking a trip in the grass, trying to earn those dollars.
You know what? I think I'm starting to relate a little more to Nick's style of commentary, as I can feel the pain. I can put myself in their shoes. And someone whose shoes I don't want to be in is Marcus Zyman, as Carter Close has taken back the lead.
Let me see if I can go back. It looked like Garrett Humphrey was stuck there, Justin Lacombe. I'm not sure if maybe that was causing an issue. So let me go back into replay and see if I can find something.
Let's travel a little further back. Seeing quite a bit of racing here with Justin G and Ezekiel Espindola. And it looks like Espindola is going to give back the position. Although that does not make sense. That is not Espindola.
No, it looks like
That is
Carter
not
was. So just looking back at the last lap, it looked like Carter was able to pull it off just in La Source as Zyman was just caught through the bus stop and just could not defend the position.
A little clarification there, guys, for that last look there. Justin G was getting around the lapped car of Thomas Knudsen. And as it looks like we have two more yellow flags, one Garrett Humphrey and the number 26 of Clarence Smith. Looks like Humphrey is able to continue driving, but that might be a DNF there for Clarence Smith.
Yeah, it looks like Humphrey is just having all sorts of trouble in the rain, and that's just unfortunate for him. Trying to find some battles on track. We've got our good old standby, Rob Ruggiero, following Martin Warmington, sorry. A little bit less than a second back, but not much of a battle.
Honestly, I think the battle here is Conrad Abbott now coming into bus stop. Conrad moving on the outside, giving him a lot of room, going wide. I don't know if this is going to give him a better exit than Ruggiero, who kept it tight. It doesn't seem like Conrad Abbott is going to have enough speed to bring it into La Source.
Well, if Ruggiero gets a little bit slowed down by Warmington, which it doesn't look like, Abbott may be able to keep the momentum, get a little bit better exit, but it doesn't quite look like it. I think he's just going to kind of tuck into the draft. Hope he's able to get something through the Kemmel Straight, but not quite close enough. Looks like he's actually losing a little bit of ground with a little bit of a slide. Ooh, and going very wide through a Rouge. But still keeping within that draft line between him and Ruggiero.
Seems like Lickholm is not going to be Conrad Abbott's friend, even though we did see a little bit of that rear end slide on the BMW.
Yeah, I think the BMW is just having a little bit more trouble than the Ferrari in keeping its weight on the track. It's kind of sending it maybe a little bit wider, or having to brake a little bit sooner than the Ferrari is, with Abbott pulling in very close, coming. Well, it looked like he was trying to make up the position right there under braking, but just not able to pull it off.
Yeah, he's getting time through Pouan for sure. And it looks like Ruggiero is oversteering a lot more. This is allowing Conrad Abbott to really get close as he comes through campus. Not enough to make the move just yet. Hopefully he might have enough speed. It looks like he's not getting around Curve Paul Ronda just yet. Although Blanchimont might be Conrad Abbott's best friend. Eyeing up the inside a little bit, right on the toe of Ruggiero. Both doing a great job of keeping it within the track limits. Although it looks like Ruggiero was able to find a lot more speed than Conrad Abbott as he built the gap a little more, keeping it a lot more consistent through bus stop this time. And it looks like this time Conrad Abbott is the one who is starting to slow down. I think he's starting to chase Ruggiero a little too much, that he's starting to forget about his line.
Yeah, that's something that, you get a little bit too close and you don't set yourself up for any room for mistakes. You got to make sure that you leave a little bit of room so that you can get a better exit, set them up for the next lap or even the next corner. But maybe he's just, I don't need to fight too hard for this. Looks like maybe Ruggiero is starting to catch up to Warmington, and he can let them battle it out and then take the pick and pull in to that 13th position ahead of Warmington.
Someone we haven't talked much about, but I've been keeping my eye on, is Nicholas Lemon. We've slowly seen him just creep up slightly on Conrad Abbott. I think he's about to join the fight, and it's going to add an interesting mix here as we come about, I would say, the time for a pit stop.
I'd say he's like a lemon bar. You don't expect it to be very good, but it creeps up on you, and you start to actually really enjoy it. So Lemon doing an excellent job, starting to creep into that frame between those three in front of him.
Honestly, it looks a little more like a tennis ball, and I think they might have slapped him around a little bit, but he's starting to bounce back. So these guys better watch out as Conrad Abbott going a little wide through Puan. That's not going to be so good for him when the tennis ball Lemon comes around, knocking at his door. Although that's very wide.
Lemon going wide, very, very wide through campus, into campus, and that's not going to allow him to catch up at all through Stave as they come through Paul Ferrer.
Yeah, that's a bit of a lockup.
We'll see if Abbott can catch up through Blanchimont. Ruggiero doesn't look like he had the exit speed, and Abbott might be able to carry it all the way up into the chicane. Let's see if he backs off once again.
That's a lot of curb. And a lot of track there for Lemon in the back.
Looks like he was able to catch up a little bit under braking. Does Abbott have enough through La Source to make the pass this turn? Doesn't look like it. I think he's a little bit too far back.
Oh, that might be
But
it.
Ruggiero going a little bit wide, having to brake a little bit sooner. Abbott able to be right there on the bumper.
Great recovery by Ruggiero so far.
Yeah, going through El Rouge, he's able to cap some of that momentum of Abbott, but he might have him on the Kemmel straight. I'm expecting an inside move. Actually, I think Abbott backed off a little bit. It looks like he might have lifted. And he's setting himself up for the next lap. Or he might be able to get him through Puan again. Oh, and we just see a contact between Abbott and Ruggiero as they come into Lacombe. Unfortunate. I'm expecting some avoidable
Warmington
contact.
as well. It's almost like a ghost driver knocked him out. Now Lemon is pushing for the fight.
Lemon being the lucky one out of this double fight going on.
You know what? It was the tennis ball effect. That's what we're going to call it.
They all just got racketed away. And looks like Abbott gave the position up to Ruggiero, which may save him from the stewards. And so he doesn't incur a drive-through penalty. We'll have to see. Saying, look, that was my bad. I'm going to give it up. Let's see. Let's do it for real. But, that was a pretty hard tap on the bumper. I'm wondering if Abbott might have incurred even more damage to his aero that won't allow him to, actually take that position.
Yeah, as we were on board with him, my teeth were clenched as we just headed into the bumper of Ruggiero. And as we're going to just split from this fight a little bit, It looks like Espindola is getting a bit of contention from Casper Minda as Casper Minda goes round the outside through bus stop. Fantastic job by Casper Minda. Espindola still keeping close, but that's not going to be enough for him to get through La Source.
Out round the outside, as Eminem likes to say, Espindola taking the momentum of the better exit through La Source, as Thomas Knudsen in the back there has a little bit of trouble navigating as Espindola and Minda come in through a Rouge trying to hunt down Robbins, who is a little bit further up on the Camel Straight. Minda taking a very wide line and tripped through a Rouge, more than likely incurring an off-track warning. This is going to be an exciting lap as they come into Lacombe.
Yeah, I 100% would not doubt that being a track cut warning.
And looks like we missed something on track. Marcus Zyman is running in 12th position, with that is allowing Mad Dog Latsis into third. Jonathan Corkle still in second, and Carter Close in first position still. I don't know if maybe Zyman ended up pitting early.
Yeah, it does look like that. Someone else who also pitted early that I noted earlier was Jeffrey Bray, who's stuck in 16 at the moment. He actually just moved up to 16 from 17, but he's been stuck there for the last couple of laps. So I think these guys might be going for an undercut.
Yeah, we're hoping for maybe a little bit longer stint out there with Carter Close. Maybe gonna run it a little longer on the current set he has and hope that the tires stick with him until the end of the race. That's a long time on one set of rain tires.
It's kind of nice how he came out in front of the battle. We were spectating Nicholas Lemon down the inside. Great switchback by Martin Wormington, although he's going wide now through campus. It's Nicholas Lemon's move.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of back and forth between them as Tennis Ball Lemon really trying to fight for this position. I think maybe a little bit too aggressively, as Wormington may be slowing down a little bit from the pressure.
You know what? I don't think this is enough to get Tennis Ball Lemon out of the way. I think he's about to make the reverberations. Do we have a spin? Here comes the windup of the racket. That's shaking up Martin Wormington a lot as we get into bus stop. I think the tennis ball is eyeing his next target. Hopefully that does not include Marcus Zyman. Oh no, he's coming into the pits.
As we see Lemon coming into the pits.
It's head games, man. He's setting it up. Let's see if that undercut works. I think that's going to trigger Wormington to come into the pits next lap as Jonathan Corkle now takes the lead. Carter Close pulling into the pits, coming out into P7. What does that tell you for Zyman? Do you think there's more to the story as he's pretty far away from Close?
You know, I'm really wondering if maybe if he had a spin somewhere on track and said, screw it, I'm going to come into the pits, get a tire change, and fill up the fuel and see if I can't run this out. You know, that's probably something that I would have done if I was running kind of frustrated. You know, he's had a lot of practice. Him and Corkle have been running a lot of practice in the wet. They really showed it with their qualifier times, but you know, the race is going just not swimmingly. As we see Corkle, or sorry, not Corkle, but Carter Close now into the pits.
That is Corkle.
Oh, is it? It is Corkle. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
similar colors. Yeah, but you know what? Now it's interesting. Where is he going to come out in relation to Close? As Zyman now is one spot away. They got Bruce Hopkins in the middle. Jeffrey Bray as well, right behind Wormington. I think once our pit stops are resolved, we're going to really see them stack up with each other as Alex Gomez now becomes our provisional race leader. And someone we haven't seen much of, Leonard Cachola, also coming into the pits. As Conrad Abbott and Lemon are in the pits as well. So that's unfortunate for Lemon. He's still in the pits, and he came in a lap before Abbott.
Yeah, I think he might have been picking up, taking care of some of those repairs, as we saw that he, his car was not entirely clean, as most cars are not at this point. But unfortunate.
All right, so Jonathan Corkle now settling into his box. Let's move in with Carter Close now coming in through bus stop. And unfortunately, Fort Trevor stayed running in front of Carter Close, but I don't think in the way he would have expected tonight.
Yeah, I think maybe Corkle was just not quite having quite a good time. We'll see if he can actually pull out of the pits before Carter Close comes through, which I don't think it's going to happen, as Carter Close is now coming down through pit lane and Corkle is still in his pit box.
Yeah, it looks like Cachola, who entered ahead of Corkle, came out a long ways ahead. There it is, Corkle now coming out of the pits.
This is going to allow Marcus Zyman to run ahead of Corkle. So he's going to take that position back away from him, as Corkle is now about 2 or 3 seconds behind him.
Well, it's going to get interesting. In through Lacombs, 4 cars. Oh, Leonard Cachola. Don't know what happened to him. Looks like a loss of steering. I'm going to go with that. I hope he just didn't move out of the way to let them through, because he took a lot of damage. As Martin Warmington gets a good little slippy boy as he goes around Thomas Knudsen. Thankfully, he let around Corkle as well. And it looks like this one will be for position, although Warmington is still running without coming into the pits.
So Carter Close able to pull a 230.5, which is the fastest lap around this track in the wet so far, and well ahead of Marcus Zyman.
And it looks like it looks like we have the first penalty that I've seen this race on Conrad Abbott.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I think it was because of that contact down the Camel Straight into, who was it? That was Ruggiero.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't agree with, but I could totally see the stewards, end up affecting that 10-second penalty. He doesn't need to pit for it. It's not a drive-through penalty, but it will be certainly applied at the end of the race.
Yeah, having pitted already, it's not worth it, especially at Spa. He might as well just take it towards the end.
Yeah, that is a almost almost a 2-minute pit lane trip, and that's not something you want to do when you just have a 10-second penalty. You might as well just take it and hope you can build a gap between you and the guy behind.
Someone trying to do that actively right now is Alex Gomez. I'm not sure how well it's going to work out for him. I believe that when he does pit, he might come out somewhere behind Zyman. My math might be wrong. I think that's more than 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. But one can hope.
As we look at more in the pit lane, we got Martin Warmington just now coming into the second half of the pit lane, with Ezekiel Espindola coming in, finding his pit box.
You know what? Someone who I want to look at now, it's the windup of the Lemon Head. Here comes the tennis ball, Nicholas Lemon. We saw him set it up. He is going through campus right now. It's going to have to pull a heck of a ton of speed through Block Chamont if he wants to get ahead of Warmington.
Warmington still not into his pit box.
Oh, that's unfortunate. It looks like he parked in the wrong one.
And they said, "You're not even the car we deal with. Get out of here." As we watched Nicholas Lemon go a little bit wide.
Here he comes through bus stop. We're going to check one more time with Warmington still in the pits.
Yeah, if you're doing any sort of tire change, any fuel up, it's still 30 seconds. Lemon coming now into La Source. Warmington still in his pit.
I think the tennis
And
ball
that's
might
more
have
than
it.
likely. I think Lemon's got Warmington under pit conditions, with Warmington now exiting, but still not past the pit limiter.
And there's the overtake by Nicholas Lemon. Warmington is going to come out behind Bruce Hopkins.
So excellent undercut by Lemon. Warmington kind of losing out there with Abbott about 30 seconds back from Warmington. So unfortunately, no contention there for the 14th position.
You know what? I think he might have let go of that pit limiter a little too early because he now has a drive-through penalty.
That is super unfortunate. But we did see him kind of cut the white line on exit as he was coming up into the Kemmel Straight. But oh man, being on the butt end of that, I feel for him. That is one of the roughest ones there is,
especially at Spa. That being said, though, great job by Nicholas Lemon. Great strategy.
So that's gonna launch Abbott above Warmington. Warmington will probably fall down into the 17th or 18th position. I think further than that, just by judging by the times. And speaking of falling down the order, Carter Close is in fourth. Or I shouldn't say falling down the order, moving up in the order. He's trying to get around Rob Ruggiero.
Yeah, close call there for Alex Gomez as we come with Carter Close. And if you look at the board, our leaders have settled themselves back in. So I think once we have our top three pit, I think we're going to see them move up respectively. And ultimately, I think that's a great job by Bray and Latsis, especially Berger. They've really had great pace tonight.
Yeah, I really, I said it earlier in the broadcast, I'm really surprised by Berger's pace. He's been able to really stick and stay clean and not get in too much trouble. And hopefully we don't commentators curse him as he comes through La Source, or not La Source, Lacombe.
I was definitely the place for the curse to take effect. So I think we're good. Justin G close behind as well. If we take pit stops into account, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to clear Alex Gomez, but if he can, that's going to put him up into P7.
See where that puts him in the championship runnings. Why don't I take a look at that?
And coming into the pits now is Zenny Glenondidi. So this is going to now get our leaders up another position. Let's hope for Justin G that he's able to make some sort of gain on Zenny Glenn, as it looks like he's still going around campus.
With a little bit of damage. It looks like he's struggling a little bit on that front end. And we got about 35 minutes or 34 minutes now left on the race clock, as pit stops have mostly shaken out, with other people kind of serving their penalties. Alex Gomez still running in first, and Max Graff running in the second position, who have yet to pit. Looking at a very late pit stop from these guys. I wonder if maybe Alex Gomez didn't get the memo that he might have to pit.
I think the overcut is strong with that one. Speaking about overcuts, Zenny Glenondidi now coming out in P7. Still quite a ways away from Justin G. It looks like his outlap is a little shaky there. Unfortunately for G, he's still behind Oglidi.
As he took quite a lot of curb and off track there through a Rouge. Hopefully he doesn't incur a penalty, as I know a lot of people have been kind of doing that today. The closer you are to those barriers, the more certain it's going to be that you're getting that off track.
You know I can't resist. Let's get closer to Mr. Close. So far, not a lot of action for Close.
Yeah, not a lot of action. He's got a lot of space in front and behind him. He's got about 8 seconds back, or about 7 seconds back to Marcus Simon. Max Graf, who is now in the pit stop or in the pit lane, serving his pit. That leaves Alex Gomez, who is taking his trip through Lacombe for another lap. We're trying to build that gap between him and Carter. Hopefully he can make that more than 80 seconds to allow Gomez to do quite the undercut and pull into a podium position.
Yeah, as we see Close now through LaSource, getting around Max Graf. He's going to now retake that second position, as well as Zyman, who's going to move into third as he gets around Max Graf. And once more as well, Jonathan Quarkle now moving into fourth position. We are starting to see them come back to their podium spots.
You know, with Corkle running out there on his own, he's not pulling in lap times that are, as fast as if he was fighting for the position back. So I'm wondering if maybe he did do a tire change and he forgot to set the temperatures, which was causing him to run a little bit slower, a little more sloppily for his line. This will allow Alex Gomez to stay out, build more of a gap, and actually commit to that undercut and stay up there in the podiums, because right now it's about 60 seconds back, which is not quite enough. If Gomez were to come into the pits and serve that penalty, it's about 80 seconds through those pit lanes, and then he still has to come out on exit, which I think at that point Carter Close will probably have passed him.
Yeah, quickly coming on here with Conrad Abbott. Unfortunately, a little bit of pirouette through Lacombe with that 10-second penalty. Now that's going to allow Ruggiero to, if he keeps his position now within 4 seconds, that's going to move Conrad Abbott about, I want to say, T17. So that's a position for Stade. So great job for Stade, I would say. Which actually...
Yeah, Stade...
Yeah, go ahead.
Stade's doing a great job. He's pulling him from 16th from very last position early in the race. We saw that he had that spin at Lacombe into the wall, which incurred some damage. Hopefully he got that fixed and just is able to run a little bit more consistently. It looks like his times
that's Ruggiero.
Are not... Oh, and unfortunate for Ruggiero. Did he make contact somewhere?
I don't know if this is just me hearing things, but I hear almost like a tire leak. You think he might have found a puncture? I don't know if the game is this realistic.
Let me go back.
But it's a weird place to just pull out. And as we just kind of mentioned, tires. Alex Gomez. That's insane. He's pulled in 23 laps so far on his original set.
So it looks like there was something we did miss was... Oh, no, we did not miss it. We caught that, which was Abbott's pirouette. So I'm watching now for Ruggiero's... Oh, it looks like it might be a netcode loss, as Ruggiero just went off track and stopped abruptly. I think he might have had a disconnect for just a second that caused that.
Looking at the
Like
board.
he's back underway in the 14th position. So I think it was just a bit of netcode that we saw there, which caused him to stop on track, or off track as we were.
Thankfully for him, that didn't involve him hitting the wall before stopping. For a second there, Jeffrey Bray getting held up a little bit by Conrad Abbott, but it looks like he's able to find his way around.
And speaking of finding the way around, Alex Gomez found his way into pit lane as he's got a little more than 60 seconds on Carter.
Yeah, for me, it looks like that's about 70, 73. It's counting down pretty quickly, though.
Yeah, it's moving pretty quick as Carter is now coming through Blanchimont. Up into the chicane. As Alex Gomez is still trying to find his still trying to find the second pit entrance. As Carter Close. So I think Carter Close will easily pass Alex Gomez. This should allow... Oh, and I guess we must have missed something with Marcus Zyman. Zyman actually ended up pulling more of a 20-second gap or 15-second gap between him and Carter Close, and running just in front of Rob Ruggiero and a pack and a gaggle of cars behind him.
I don't know what's going on here. It almost looked like he stole all their lunch money. This is insane. It looks... I'm not a big on McLarens here, but that separation from the hood and the front bumper is quite big.
Yeah, we got Corkle there in that pack mixed up, who is running 2 seconds behind Zyman. Wants to get by these guys. Say, look, I'm up for that podium spot. I've got the championship. You guys need to let me by. And it looks like he was able to make that happen with just minor contact between him and I believe it was Casper Minda.
Yeah, you know what? With all this damage that we can see on Zyman, I think Corkle is about to be on him like a cheap suit on Sunday church. I've been waiting to use that line all season. It was the time.
It was a little abrupt. I don't know if it fit so well there, but it was probably because it was a cheap suit. But Alex Gomez now finally exiting his pit in pit lane, coming on the Camel Straight, following Conrad Abbott. Or not Conrad Abbott, I'm sorry. Actually, not sure who that is in front of him.
There's so much going on
looks
track
like Mad
right
Dog
now.
Latsis.
If you look, Ruggiero fighting it out with Minda, as well as Corkle getting around, I forgot his name already, Marcus Zyman. Jeffrey Bray now in the mix as well.
It's becoming quite exciting here at the end. Bray pulling up just behind that pack of Ruggiero, carrying a lot of speed as they come through Blanchimont.
And Zyman's going to have to move out of the way. That's going to allow Minda to get through. Now it's getting a lot mixed up. Ruggiero coming in as well, right behind Bray. Trevor Stade getting around Zyman. Down the inside he goes. Jeffrey Bray now fighting for position with Zyman.
So make your entrance into campus.
Down the inside he goes, down Curveball Ronda. Great job by Jeffrey Bray getting around Zyman. Now Rob Ruggiero as well. Honestly, I think the damage is taking a toll on Zyman.
That is super unfortunate to have that gaggle. You were leading it and just not able to keep up with it.
And Jonathan Corkle moving into P2. I know we were talking about him a little bit a while ago. It almost seemed like he was pretty comfortable where he was running. And as I spoke to him before the race, it seemed like his goal was really getting that podium and finishing the championship in that third slot. But I think he's gonna bring it home.
You know, with him running in second, that's potentially going to push him up into the second spot for the championship runnings. With Trevor Stade, if he's unable to make at least 3 more positions, will drop him into the third spot of the championship points.
Good little slip from Corkle entering Eau Rouge. It looks like he's found a lot of confidence in that car.
Speaking of confidence, Carter Close being very confident, not running a very fast competitive time. He's only running a 32.5 versus, well, I can't really talk about last lap. Oh, as we see another spin from Trevor Stade, which is super unfortunate. That's going to drop him another couple of positions, or another few positions, as he attempts to rejoin traffic.
You know, and after he gained so much, to lose it all like that, that's... And especially where he landed, I think that his accident, that spin might have started on exit there from Radion. So that's a lot of damage to bounce around. It almost looks like a different car from the front now.
Oh yeah, that's quite a bit of damage. He must have really made hard contact with that wall. We're seeing, the lights flash and the hood propped up. That's super unfortunate.
Yeah, his aero balance is pretty much garbage at this point. Those poor canards still holding strong.
They're holding on for dear life.
Fun contrast there. When we switch to Carter Close, just having almost a Lewis Hamilton style race, just in the lead, pretty much reading a book, I'd say, maybe listening to his, let's go on board here with Carter. Yeah, I mean, through that visor, he's honest. He's probably taking a nap, thinking about his taxes.
Yeah, he's thinking about those cheap suits that he might be able to get at the end of the race.
Yeah, I think he's going to be contacting Zyman to borrow them. Although it looks like Zyman has ditched his cheap suit. I'm sorry, Corkle, for calling you the cheap suit, but you've come out with P2. I think it's okay.
And speaking of the podium, Jeff Bray being the big winner with 22 minutes on the clock. Hopefully he can keep Casper Minda from really just intruding on his race. But Bray running really well with 22 minutes still on the clock. He's only 5 seconds back from Corkle. Corkle could still be making a mistake and allow Bray to run up into second.
I'm not
still
sure.
Won't change the championship standings. So
I don't know what would have happened, but Alex Gomez stop and go, 30 seconds.
To go back and see if we can find something from the stewards. They got something on their sheet that indicates what happened there.
Moving on to Mad Dog, running in fourth. And it's another spin by Conrad Abbott. Unfortunately, the Ferrari master plan is not working out today. Ed Berger and Justin G. Looks like the fight might develop in the last 20 minutes for that fifth slot. I think overall, as we've mentioned, Ed Berger has had a fantastic stint, really stayed out of trouble. He's led every train that's been behind him. It doesn't seem like any have really matched his level of consistency. But props to Justin G as well for really making up all those positions we saw him lose after his spin through Radion. Although I'm sure he'd rather prefer being in that P1 slot. I don't think he'd regret coming up all this way.
So I'm getting a report from Nick Gass that Alex Gomez, unfortunately, was off tracking too much. And that caused him a stop and go of 30 seconds in the pit box. So that, unfortunately, that's going to end his race for even that podium position, or even the mid pack for there in the 12th position, as he'll drop down the order.
Yeah, that's unfortunate to see from Alex Gomez. We've seen him so many times this season within the top 5, very consistent. I think it might have gotten a little too much to him, and he just pushed a little too hard.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when you get penalties like that. But it's testament to all the drivers out there who can keep it clean in the rain and not incur those penalties. It's incredibly hard, and you just have to be very consistent, very conscious of your boundaries. So I'm not saying that it may sound like I'm saying Alex Gomez isn't, but they're not the ones with the penalty. So
yeah, not talking about consistency. Bruce Hopkins really whipping it out through P1. That's gonna lose him a position as now Nicholas Lemon climbs up into P9. The tennis ball with his next target in sight. It's Marcus Zyman. You know what? I cursed it. If you remember when he was behind Wormington I said he was setting up his next move as he pulled into the pits, and I said, hopefully that doesn't involve Marcus Zyman. And here he is, for position.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
The curse is real, man. It's real. Although what looks like has allowed Lemon to catch up is that Zyman has gone into the pits and repaired all that damage.
Which would be good for him. Hopefully he's able to run up that lap time with the last 18 minutes of this race here. As I look back on Carter Close to see where he's running, and he's still running it first, pulling it a little bit faster, feeling like maybe he's got us on the radio and saying, look, I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to run these times as fast as possible.
Yeah, and Puan catching out another victim. Unfortunately, it's one more time. Trevor stayed.
I don't think that's Puan catching another victim. I think that's Trevor, unfortunately, just unable to keep that car, a little pointed forward on the track. It's just so hard with that much damage. You can be very unpredictable.
You know what? I wish we had our Audi expert in the booth, Nick King. I think he would really provide some good insight as to the overall handling of the car in the wet. As I know we've discussed, it's not really a popular option, and it looks like he's the only one who's ran it this entire season. So I think a car, a new manufacturer is in line for Trevor Stade.
I'm actually running the car for the next endurance race, and so I've been practicing in it. It's my first time actually in the car. I'm actually in the dry. It is a joy to drive. It's not quite as responsive as, say, something lighter like the Ferrari or the McLaren, but it's still a very good responsive car. As far as setup, it really just does everything that you want it to do, and when you make those changes expecting it to happen, it does exactly that and communicates it. So it's a really well communicative car, but when there's damage, it may not be the most communicative at that point. So I could see here in the wet just a really big compounding effect.
You know what? Let's hope that doesn't turn into another NSX situation. I think we just brought back terrible memories for Giancarlo, and Justin G spins out through Lake Holmes. That is now going to allow Ed Berger to just send it away. Actually, I think we really brought back bad memories for Giancarlo, as he might be getting beat up by Nick Gash right now. I don't know what's going on.
Sorry about that. I've actually got a race after this one, and I didn't realize what the time was. So unfortunately, I won't be able to make that race, which is totally fine. I'll stay here with you guys to call the action here with Gersten and pull in some post-race interviews. So make sure you guys, you don't leave after the race. We got some exciting post-race interviews. Sim Racing 604, Mike Smith will be attending us in the booth to talk about what's up for next season. But talking about those bad memories, I had some great memories and some terrible ones of my wet race in Suzuka.
I'm sorry. You said memory and wet, and I just keep going. I was a big cross country runner in high school, and running in the wet I actually preferred because a lot of the guys, they seemed to get heavier legs, whereas I was able to kind of keep up and run alongside them and be like, hey, what's going on? And they looked like they were struggling. So those are my good memories. As far as the bad memories, it was a Suzuka last season. Here at season 4, where it started out dry and then ended up raining, and we had a bit of contact coming into the pit. And I will always tell that story as my go-to. You know what? Talking about somebody else who shaves their legs and is faster in the wet. Ed Berger, I threw in the shaving the legs part, by the way. You really got to cut the aerodynamics. But Ed Berger now catching up to Mike Latsis for 4th.
Now, is that Berger finding a bit of speed that he didn't know he had, or is that Latzis starting to slow down? As his last lap time was a 2:32.2 with Berger's 2:32.4.
Although if you look at their best times, Ed Berger was 0.3 faster. It's hard to say when that lap would have been placed, but I think with the perfect conditions, I want to say Berger's faster.
All you guys out there in Twitch TV land, let us know who you're rooting for and who you want us to cover. Right now, it's kind of a truly train. There's not a lot of battles going on. We've got a kind of a running order of where everybody might be finishing unless something bad happens in the next 12 minutes. We've got Mr. Universe Close in first position, which will cause him to close the door on the season championship, with Trevor Stade running down in 22nd. Jonathan Corkle in second place, which will allow him to run up into third for the championship points. And Jeff Bray, who's running now in third place, who is in about fifth position in the championship points.
You know what? I just heard it. Those close references aren't that great when someone else does it. I think I just heard what everybody else hears. It's all right. I'm still gonna use them.
Those were completely unintentional.
But you know what? Now that we brought it up, nobody's close to Mr. Universe.
He is running away with this race. As we see Ngaku Sak say, "Go Corkle!" in the chat. And Hot Scotch Shot is rooting for Mike Latsis, Mad Dog Latsis, who is in fourth position.
Yeah, I think that was quite a while ago. Now that Latsis has fallen into fourth. I think that was before the pits. So now Mr. Jeffrey Bray. You know what? I don't think we've given Jeffrey Bray any sort of a name. Would you care to venture something here?
Oh, I've got one, but I don't know if he would like it.
Let's hear it.
I mean, he is a rocket of a horse out there.
Was that it?
As he runs.
I wish I had crickets.
I'm not very good with names, but speaking of names, we got Nick Lemon running in 9th position, having a very clean, empty race now that all those Rob Ruggiero has fallen down into the 14th position. It looks like he just got passed by Zenny Glenonditi. So it looks like Rob Ruggiero is just having a tough time keeping that car up to speed and is falling down the order. Trying to find some battles on track. The next one we have is Bruce Hopkins running just about a second behind Ezekiel Esmendola. As they come through La Source, down into the straight for Rouge, through Rodillion, and onto the Kemmel Straight.
And it looks like they're going to be Carter Close's next on-track meal, as they're the next lap cars to be overtaken.
Less than 10 minutes on the clock. We are closing out this race with our running order of Carter Close, Jonathan Corkle, and Jeff Bray. Mad Dog Latsis running in 4th, Ed Berger 5th, Justin G in 6th place.
Okay. I think I've got something. Jeffrey Bray, right? JB. Is it a coincidence he's also running a Jensen Button livery?
JB Bray?
I'm connecting some dots. I don't think it's there yet.
I don't know. I mean, if we could get a third opinion on this, as Mike Smith, Mr. Sim Racing 604, joins us in the booth.
Hey,
Mike, how's it going?
Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Yes, sir. How's it going, sir?
Great, doing great. Really enjoying the broadcast tonight, boys.
Excellent. We're glad you are. And really, it is, again, our pleasure to broadcast these races. So thank you again for allowing us to do this. And thank you for joining us here. We were just having a discussion on whether or not JB Bray should have a nickname of...
But we haven't decided on the
I
name
don't-
yet.
What was the name even? You're trying to make a connection there with Jensen Button.
Yeah, it's the JB initials. It's something. It's something. I just can't feel it yet. Although I gotta say, it's a very I don't know what the word is, but hearing Mike's voice live, it's that parallel universe again, man. It's like.
Are you getting starstruck? Is that what's happening?
I think so. I did not expect this reaction, but like, have you ever met your hero?
Nah, in all seriousness, guys, I really appreciate the broadcast. It's amazing. Myself and Mike Evans, one of the other admins, we were talking tonight, and it's just amazing. The level of quality you guys put out is really fantastic. And we got another season starting very, very soon, and I'm going to do a better job of promoting you guys because more people need to see this. I think you guys do a fantastic job week in, week out. So it's an honor to have you call these races. It really is.
No
That's
pressure.
right, guys. You are listening to Sim Racing 604 in the virtual flesh. Hit that like and subscribe on our channel here on the Mordecai on Twitch. Go to YouTube. Hit the like and subscribe on Sim Racing 604's channel because these are exciting races. We love calling them, and thank you again, Mike.
All good, all good. And really impressed by the driving tonight, too. In the rain, I saw the first lap. I was impressed by how clean everyone stayed. It looks like Carter's got a nice lead now. And overall, just great racing as we've seen all season.
Now, are we going to see you join us for next season in Split 2?
Could be. I've got some time commitment issues, but I'm going to try and get on the track more and more as time goes on. And hopefully next season, I'll try and join Split 2.
Mike, now that we've got you here, Nick would kill me if I didn't ask this because in season 3 and season 4, we discussed this a lot. We saw you usually, I'm taking this opportunity now. This is a mid-race interview with Sim Racing 604 from season 3 and season 4, if you guys remember. Of course, you guys know him from YouTube. What am I saying here? But we saw a lot of safe and clinical driving. And from your tutorial that we've seen, I mean, you really live up to what you're teaching. However, was there ever a reason why, and sometimes we saw a move, a potential space for a move. Did you ever consider taking it, or were you really trying to, sandbag a little, let these guys have some fun out there?
Not a bit, man. Everything you saw from me is everything I have. I'm not a fast driver by any sense or any stretch of the imagination. I'm a mid-pack runner at best, kind of. Like I say, if you saw me kind of not taking an opportunity, it's probably because I didn't think I could take advantage of it. So, yeah, everything you saw was everything I have.
I think you're being modest, man, but you know what? If you come out in season 6, I definitely think we're gonna see. I want to see more of Sim Racing 604. I remember your traditional. I want to say it's like a metallic, burnt orange livery with the 604 number. I think we need that on track again.
Yeah, right on. That's a good memory. Yeah, I might have to bring that back. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I think it was last season. Myself and Carter were like neck and neck. It was just like race after race. We were right there. We were competitive. And he just found something in him to just pull ahead of everyone. It's been incredible to see his progress. And really, I'm proud of everyone in this race, of course, but especially of Carter. Just to see that improvement just in one season is amazing.
Yeah, I remember that you guys ran the same car, so a lot of the times we refer to you guys as the master and the apprentice. And you know what? Judging by his success in this season, you know what? I wouldn't say you'd be too far away from that P2 slot right in front of Corkle.
I would be pretty lucky to be that high in the field, but like I say, hopefully next season I'll get back on track and start turning more laps and getting out there. I see a lot of familiar names who've been here for many seasons now, so yeah, it would be great to get back on track with these folks.
Oh, excellent stuff. Would you say that you're faster here in ACC or in American Truck Simulator?
Oh yeah, well, I appreciate that shout out. Yeah, I hit 150 miles an hour in a Porsche in American Truck Sim today, so I don't think I'm going to be doing that in a GT3 car anytime soon. But yeah. So ACC definitely for me. Um, yeah, just looking at the field here, I don't want to disrupt you guys' broadcast. It looks like there's some great battles, so by all means, do your thing.
Yeah, we got, looks like Rob Ruggiero had another netcode issue, which allowed Conrad Abbott to pass by. Rob Ruggiero it looked like he was off track, but was able to pull back into his position. I'm not sure if he incurred any more damage from that, but it looks like he was lost out to Zenny Glenn on DT and Conrad Abbott for that 13th position.
Yeah,
As we close down into a little less than 2.5 minutes, go ahead, Gerson.
Yeah, I was going to mention Justin coming back into P6 now. He's really bridged the gap to Ed Berger, who still running in P5, but with 2 minutes left, Justin has really brought the fight, and I think we're going to see this one go down to the line.
Yeah, they are running currently less than a tenth between each other for lap time. So Justin G may be playing it safe until the very last lap, which they may be coming up onto. Carter Close now coming down through Kemmel Straight, so we'll see one more lap of that from them. And yeah, he is running very close to him in Blanchemont as they come through a little bit wide from Berger as they come into the chicane. And G able to close it in under braking, coming through the chicane, very, very close, but not able to get that exit, but he was able to get him on the exit.
And Berger's not giving it up just yet. He's fighting it into La Source, putting the car down the inside. That's a great defense by Ed Berger. A little bit of a switchback from Justin G as he gets side by side. We're going to take this battle down to Eau Rouge. A little bit of contact, not a lot, just a trade of paint between these two rivals. Coming into Eau Rouge, no one's lifting, no one's giving it up, although Justin G might have had the better exits, and that's going to be P5 if he's able to hold it for one more lap.
Yeah, it looked like Berger actually did lift through there because he definitely did not want to go through Eau Rouge or Verdillion with side by side in the wet. That is a tricky situation to get through, and with less than a minute on the clock, you don't want to end the race.
And it doesn't look like Lecombe was his target of choice, but he's still keeping it close, so he's not far away from making a move.
No, Ed Berger can always come back through attack as they come through the Bruhel down into Pouan.
Quickly breaking away. I know the driving is close, but we have our championship winner, Carter Close, bring it in across the line, and there it is, your pole sitter. First place podium, Carter Close here in Spa for Sim Racing 604 Season 5. He's going to bring it home to take the championship. Jonathan Corkle now crossing the line, P2. This might move him up into that second podium. Great job by Jonathan Corkle.
Yeah, Jeffrey Bray closely behind him, running in third, taking the third place podium. That'll move him up from his fifth place position on the board into fourth.
And Mike Latsis bringing it out through Blanchemont. Not a lot of contention around him. This space is pretty much his for the taking. He's going to come in P4 here at Spa. Great race by Mad Dog. And someone that had a lot of unfortunate luck, Justin G. Great save, great drive. He did beat out Ed Berger for the position this lap, so great job in that close race and really staying focused and bringing it home.
Yeah, excellent drive by G. Berger coming in just behind him with Conrad Abbott. And looks like Trevor stayed just behind him with Rob Ruggiero pulling up in that last position. But these guys are all mixed up on the board, so those positions are not correct in that order.
Yeah, our next across the line is going to be Max Graff, although he has Marcus Zyman right behind him. It doesn't look like the McLaren's going to be able to match the speed of the Bentley as we approach bus stop.
Yeah, this has been a very tough race. I think people were really expecting it to be so tough. Mike, have you driven Spa in the wet?
Yeah, I have. And I mean, these are just brutal conditions. There's a lot of rain on the track tonight, and it makes it really tricky, especially through that sector 2. You're going downhill. You're trying to you're trying to keep grip with Pouol, and just not finding it. It's a real fight. So it's impressive to see what these guys have done tonight. Even in these adverse conditions.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a tricky proposition anytime you race in the wet or any weather condition, honestly, except for just the dry, high and tight. But these guys did an excellent job. Everybody seemed to kind of catch their order after pit stops and bring it home to the end.
I wonder if we can invite Carter into the broadcast booth.
Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and get ready. We're going to take a little break just before we do driver interviews. Guys, stick around as we cut away. We'll be right back with driver interviews from Spa. Gerson, are you switched away?
I'm still here. We're still live.
Oh, how dare you! I've been tricked.
I've caught you out, man.
That's all right. So let's go ahead and pull. Let's see, Cutter's off track. Let's go ahead and pull him in. So we're pulling in our championship winner, Carter Close. Congratulations, Mr. Universe. You have clinched the championship and the race by having more than a 30-second lead after spinning in the first half. Well done, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. That race was really weird. I honestly did not expect to have it go the way it did. I expected to be lower pace. I expected Marcus to pass me. I expected Corco to pass me, if I'm being honest. I was like, I'm gonna sell in P3 maybe, but I got pole and I was like, maybe there's a chance for the win. And then I binned it, like you said, and my mind immediately went to, oh no, I've just lost the championship. But obviously that didn't happen, so I'm perfectly happy with that. That's the third race one I've had, so I'm fine with it.
It was an excellent drive. You did an amazing job in the wet. You were pulling more than a second than your other competitors out there for some laps to make up the positions. It looked like after pit stops had completed that you kind of took a little bit of a rest from running 100% the entire time. Is that correct? Am I off on my mark there?
I wouldn't call it a rest. What I would call it is that the way I work, at least in the game, is that I have to fall into a rhythm in order to be able to like drive fast, and that's what I did in the first stint. Is I fell into a really good rhythm. I was setting fastest lap of the race after fastest lap after fastest lap, and it was pretty much only me and Marcus at that point fighting towards the end of the first stint. But then, kind of like with maybe 30 minutes to go in the race, I kind of fell out of that rhythm a little bit, and then it was just kind of downhill from there. I think it's more focus thing. I think I could probably do a little better job on focusing on things. But it's just about finding your perfect rhythm, and if you fall out of that rhythm, it's fine. You just have to try and find it again.
You know, we were speaking of rhythm earlier with Mike Smith. Mike Smith, who you well know, was talking about, you know, kind of the heydays of you and him, battling it out in previous seasons. Mike, do you have any questions for Carter or admirations?
Yeah, I mean, first off, Carter, congratulations, man. Huge race, huge season. You did awesome. Proud of you, buddy. But I just got to know, man. Not long ago, you and I were rivals, and it just seems like everything about your driving, your pace, your consistency has really stepped up this season. Did you do anything significant? Was there something you did to sort of change your style of driving to take it to that next level?
Um, Not really that I can think of. It's mostly, well, not with my driving, I should say. It's mostly mindset. And it's kind of what I was talking about with pace, but not really. It's just finding in that, getting in that mindset that it's okay if you're not the fastest person on the track. It's okay if you're not putting, you know, the best laps that you can. What matters is that you're just driving, you're having fun. That's the entire point of this. You're supposed to have fun. um, and I think that's what I found from this season in the season compared to last season. Or last season, there was a few races where I just was not in my element, and I think that was more because of mindset. And in season three, back when we were in GT4s, I had the same mindset that I have this season. It's just for fun. When we were battling it out, I was I think Kyalami was the circuit that stands out the most to me, where we both forgot to fuel our cars for the race, and we both pitted first lap, and then it was an all-out battle from there to see who could do it. That entire race, I remember thinking that it was just all for fun. And, it's all trying to get as many places as I could on a kind of recovery drive, but at the same time trying to defend from you, which was hard and fun. So I lost that mindset over last season and then kind of regained it back with the 6 hour Imola endurance that we had. That kind of helped me a little bit. And then Imola, the first round of this season, it was really good. And then from there, it's just kind of been smooth sailing.
That's great, man. We're all happy for you.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, being a competitor in the last season, I could say you have really picked it up. I think Borden and Seiler would be super proud and honored to race against you. So, thank you, Carter. What are your plans for next season? I know you got a little bit of an inside scoop. We haven't heard what's going on for next season as far as kind of the rearrangement of everything. Mike, is there anything that you want to announce here that you can tell us? Give us a little teaser.
Yeah, well, it looks like we're probably going to go live tomorrow with season 6, and it's not 100% finalized yet, but it looks like there will be 6 concurrent leagues. We're going to keep the European League in its usual time slot. We're going to mix things up as far as the sort of midweek North American based leagues, but still ACC, lots of GT3 action, some GT4 action, and yeah, probably a multi-class league too. So in the next probably 24 to 48 hours, we'll have all that up, and it's just more exciting stuff. And it's unbelievable the support these leagues have got so far, and we hope to continue that positivity and that momentum.
That sounds amazing. I can't wait. I know I'm really looking forward to the big grid and actually being behind the wheel once again in the leagues. So thank you again, Mike. Carter, what are your plans for next season? Are you going to be? Do you have any ideas on what you're going to try to do improve? Or I mean, you really can't improve from being a series champion. So. Do you have anything that you might be able to glean on to us about what you have in store for us?
Well, first off, like I said before in the pre-race, that was rushed though. My plan is to still do the Wednesday league, whatever we want to call it at that point, GT3 league, whatever it is at that point. But specifically to work on, I personally would like to work on trying to practice a little more before race day and before the day before race day. So before Tuesday and Wednesday. And I mean that's kind of iffy with outside commitments and school and whatnot, whatever else I have. But there were a couple rounds, specifically Nürburgring and Centerton. So round 4 and 5 of this season that I had no practice coming into race day, so I just tried to cram it all in. And you can see that it didn't really show that much. I was like P8, 9, 10 or at Nürburgring and P7, I think, at Centerton, which I mean aren't bad finishing positions. It's just that I know I could have had the pace to be higher in the standings if I would have practiced. So I think that's what I'm going to try and work on in the off season. Try and find a good way for me to improve lap times, improve the amount that I'll be practicing, and then go from there.
Well, that's really awesome to hear and inspiring, and we are looking forward to it. I know it's going to be very exciting with the way the previous seasons have played out. So I know everybody else will be looking forward to it. Congratulations again. We're going to have to move on to getting some of the other guys in here for their post-race interviews. So Carter, thank you again for talking to us, and congratulations. The next up is Trevor Stade. As we pull Trevor in here, Trevor, how is it going? Not the result you were looking for, not the result you were talking about at the beginning of the race, but you weren't last.
Yeah, there's a benefit there. Uh, no, that was a nightmare. That was awful from roughly 5 minutes in to for an hour and a half. It was awful. I was awful. Um, I don't know. I just drove like crap. Had a terrible setup. Spun it off the road about 7 times. Wind got like serious damage in at least 2 of those. It
Yeah,
was bad.
I think towards the end, and just to save you from being too hard on yourself, I think you did. For the conditions that were out there, it was a hard race, and it was incredibly tough. Being out there, running with some of these really fast guys, and the pressure can be sometimes insurmountable. So don't be too hard on yourself. You were doing an amazing job. You had an excellent season, and we're really looking forward to next season if you're willing to run it again. How are you looking for next season? Do you think you'll be joining us again here in Split 2 if it survives its name?
Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly is going on. I don't know if Split 2. I mean, obviously, I'd want to be in whatever the faster of the splits is, but I'm not sure if Split 2 is staying as a second split, really, or is ever was. I don't know. Um, I don't know. I'm always down to race more, so whatever the opportunity gives me to do that.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Do you, Gerson or Mike, do you guys have anything to say to Trevor?
Yeah, Trevor, first off, congratulations, man. Amazing season. I know you had a tough go of it tonight, but honestly, it's a tough track on the best of days, and it was tough conditions. So I hope you look at the bigger picture and see you had an amazing season, and you're right there all season. So great job. And yeah, there won't be a split 2 per se next season. It doesn't look like, but hopefully we can kind of keep the Tuesday crew together and the Wednesday crew together. And yeah, we'd obviously love to see a lot more of you on track next season.
Yeah, I'd love to be here. I blame myself plenty for this, but I'm also just Spa's terrible, Audi's terrible, and the rain is terrible. So it's just that I'll just blame it on everything else instead of my driving.
There's always more to learn and always more to live up to. So thanks again for joining us. Unfortunately, not the result you wanted, but
Yep.
still an excellent showing, regardless.
Yep. Wish I could have given you guys a fight for the championship, but even if I didn't do as terribly as I did, I don't think I had anything for Carter today. He was wicked, as he has been all season. So, yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And then we're going to go ahead and bring in our second place winner, Jonathan Corkle. And Jonathan Corkle, if you can hear us, how is it going, sir? Congratulations on a second place finish. That bumps you up into the championship standings to a second place championship finish. Congratulations! What an excellent drive. You're able to keep mostly clean throughout the race. A little bit of contact in the first half, but how did your race go, sir?
It was honestly, I just was like sweating the whole time. um, I know that a lot of these guys have a faster pace than I do, so for me it was just about, can I use the wet conditions to my advantage, just keep it clean, survive lap one, and then play the rest from there.
Now, you and Marcus had a lot of practice. You guys were kind of conferring. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag that you guys are my teammates, and yeah, I saw some of that discussion. Were you super surprised during qualifying to see Carter have such an amount of pace on you guys?
Not really. I mean, the thing with Carter is we've known from the beginning that he's a super super fast racer. So traditionally in all the races up until now, he's usually had anywhere from a half second to a full second on me on most tracks. Um, Oddly enough, in qualifying, I had enough pace to actually get ahead of him, but I threw it on the last corner, so I just was a little bummed out by that.
Now, was that something that you might be able to work on for next season? Are you going to do a lot of driver training, maybe hop in with the coaches and see what you can do to improve?
I mean, yeah, I think like I've only been doing this sim racing since I guess last October or so it's still pretty new to me, and I feel like I've been learning
Okay,
quickly,
all right.
but
Interview's over. No, you're not that quick, that fast. My goodness, sir. That
so
is
yeah, I mean, I've got lots of questions for the coaches. I think what I especially learned in this race was just how important the strategy is, knowing when to pit, knowing what your actual setup needs to be, things like tire changes, fuel, all that sort of stuff, how much it's actually going to affect your position overall. Um, so yeah, that's something that I just need more practice with it.
now. You mentioned starting back in October. Have you had any previous sim racing experience prior to that?
I mean, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with Gran Turismo 2 on the PlayStation 1. So that was like, if you can call that the intro to sim racing, I guess I was a kid when I started. But yeah, no, I didn't have like a wheel until sort of end of last summer. So that's when I really started actually getting into it.
That's awesome. I think that really mirrors a lot of us. As we were talking earlier in the broadcast, was Marcus Zyman was actually a console racer, starting out in Gran Turismo, joining a league there, and actually, I think in the last year started bought a PC and said, hey, maybe I can give this a go. On the PC side of things, and he joined us here for his debut season. So we know you guys can be very fast on consoles, and that's starting to translate, and we're starting to see that. So hopefully that some of that old school discrimination of console racers versus PC racers, that consoles are not quite as fast, and we know that to not be true anymore. So congratulations again. We're gonna hop over to get Jeff Brain here with his thoughts. Any plans in the off season? Do you have any plans to race in anything else? Are you gonna just try to sign up for whatever you can?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do whatever casual races are around, and honestly, I think I want to spend more time with different car classes. So I think AMS2 just had that recent update, which has been amazing. So I just want to spend more time with other classes of cars, especially manual. I just got an H pattern shifter, which is awesome. So yeah, just want to learn some more stuff.
Well, awesome. We look forward to seeing you next season and hearing about your exploits in other sims. Thank you
Sounds
again,
good.
sir.
Take it easy, guys.
And we're going to go ahead and pull in Jeff Bray. Jeff Bray, who was able to qualify 9th place, but ended up with a podium finish. I'm sorry. No, that wasn't a podium finish. My bad there.
Why you gotta do him like that?
I am so sorry, Bray. Bray, are you here? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I am. I finished third, right?
Oh, you did finish. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I missed out on all that, all the excitement, and I tripped my own self up. So congratulations on a podium finish. Your race looked harrowing from the start. We saw you drop down the order and then fight your way back up. Past post pits, you're able to fight through a bit of a gaggle of cars through Ruggiero, Zyman, and the others there. Can you tell us a little bit about your race? How was it?
Well, first quali didn't go as planned. Like I probably would have hoped for P5 and up, but got my pressures mixed up. So I just went for the biggest undercut imaginable, and it paid off.
What an undercut it was to pull out a third place position with such competition. It was harrowing conditions with the rain out there. Had you put in a lot of practice in the rain?
Yeah, I mainly practiced in the rain for this, like at least 2 days worth.
Awesome. Well, it definitely paid off as we saw in the results standings. How has the McLaren been for you this season? Do you think you might be switching it up for next season?
It's been pretty good. Last season, well, no, not last season. The one before that, I was rolling with the AMG. Um, and I think McLaren's a bit more dependable across a variety of tracks, I think. So I might stay with it.
Awesome. Well, I know it's going to be very exciting with whatever race you pull in with, and we look forward to seeing the results from you. Do you have any parting words for us?
Thanks, Mike, for doing this. It was pretty awesome, and thanks for the broadcast too. It's really, really cool that you guys are doing this. And on to next season.
Before you
Thanks
leave,
for being here, and tremendous result, man. Great season.
Thanks.
I want to ask you real quick. Do you hope to battle on track with Harrison Lynn next season?
Yeah, sure. Because yeah, last season that was pretty cool. Yeah, he's a bit faster than me, I would say though. But we'll see next season if we could change that.
Are you signed up for Split 2 for the big grid race, or are you going to be running in GT4s?
Yeah, I'm in split 2 for the big grid.
It's going to be some excellent competition. Really looking forward to it. And Mike, again, thank you for setting up everything here for Sim Racing 604 in the ACC leagues. You guys have been watching the Split 2 GT3 race. This was the season finale here at Spa. Gerson, what are your thoughts?
The same as the last 3 seasons. Honestly, it was just a quick thing here. When we first started, the idea just kind of first came up towards the end of season 2. And honestly, I did not expect us to get to this point. Honestly, I didn't expect to really get past the first couple races in season 3 when we first started the broadcast. But it's been a huge pleasure, and it's been awesome to see it grow. You've come onto the team this season, and Nate came on as well midway through season 3, I believe maybe at the start of season 4. So to start build up the team and go from just me being here to have Mike in the chat as well. I think that's just been an awesome thing. And you guys every time in the Discord, you're always quick, to give us thanks and all that. But honestly, like Mike said before, I think it's you guys who really made this come to life. If it wasn't for you driving on track, for you guys showing up and being committed every time, it wouldn't have been as interesting as it has been. And honestly, the most viewership I would say is you guys coming back post race to watch it again and getting everybody, to, come in here as well. So honestly, from that end myself, I'm thankful for you guys helping me grow this channel. Really, it was just kind of me looking for some sort of audience there, and I've kind of leashed off of Mike just a bit there because you guys have come over, but at the same time, just I've had an amazing time watching you guys, and I feel like it's impacted my racing as well as I came in season 2. towards the back of the field, and I've always felt the confidence to continue in split one, and seeing you guys race has motivated me to be fast. And it's always interesting towards the end of the season when a lot of these guys will come in from split two, move into split one, and to see them just go to the top of the grid, I've always thought it's been amazing. And I've always kind of wanted to or wish you guys had more of that confidence to just send it in there, because I think a lot of you guys maybe you think you're slow, and I think that's true in practice when you don't have times to gauge with anybody else. I know I felt like, oh man, I'm really slow, and then I get into the race and I'm like, wait, you know what, I'm kind of there with everybody. So it's always cool to see these guys jump in. It's always sad to see them go away from the broadcast. I know that's happened in the past with I believe that was Aiden Stark, Robin Borden, Charles Saylor, Clark Muller as well. But it's always fun to race with them later on. So I think aside from that, racing with you guys on track, I think I've made a bigger connection with the drivers through the broadcast. And the fact that I can recall your names and think of your rivalries, I think that's honestly the coolest thing that I can have from this. So, I'm beyond thankful for that, guys. So thank you for helping me enjoy racing even more.
And I gotta thank you, Gerson, for allowing me to come in and use my voice to help this broadcast, and really bring it up from the depths of where it was. It was not great. I thought this could be so much better. I am just no, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you again for doing this. It's been so fun. Being able to stretch my chops, or stretch my legs, and get some chops into commentating. So I really appreciate it, Mike. We keep thanking you. I think it just is something that we could repeat forever. Is thank you so much for everything you're doing. We're really looking forward to what's coming down the pipe for the leagues, and and your work too. We love watching you, and we love everything that you're doing for sim racing. So thank you again. Do you have any parting words?
No, just I'll just say that I do hardly anything for these leagues. Honestly, I'm so fortunate to be surrounded by amazing admins, and of course you guys doing these broadcasts week in, week out, and the coaches, and of course everyone on track, and stewards. It's just been amazing. I've been so lucky to have so many great people sort of come into the Sim Racing 604 community and make it what it is now. So just giving those thanks right back. Thanks to you guys for these amazing broadcasts, and look forward to lots more from you guys in the future.
Awesome, and thank you again. And I'm what do you want?
I just want to say something. Can't I say something, please?
Here it comes.
What? No. Nick wants to say something. I'm sorry, guys.
I absolutely want to say something. I feel very underappreciated right now, as nobody's been thanking me for my excellent pit strategies from last race, and I really want to say I've been better with better crew, and I don't know if I'm going to return the next season because I've been treated so poorly. And up yours, Giancarlo. I quit.
I don't know why you're quitting. You get more attention than I do. It's not fair just because I'm a worldwide in France. It's not. I could have been in Belgium too. It's not fair. But it's just. I'll quit with you. Do you know what? We can start the broadcast together, and then we can do that with the European League. I think that's it. Nick Gass and myself have to go to the European League and broadcast together.
You're on, mate. I'll see you there.
Guys,
okay, all right. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't think it was going to go that bad.
Don't watch their broadcast. Not worth it.
Yeah, not worth it. Stick with us. Thank you, guys. We're seeing a lot of thank you comments. Awesome jobs. Thank you, Mossf74, Thrux MK1, Kuso W, who's Jonathan Corkle. We've got a lot of the guys that race in there watching these in the previous broadcasts. Thanks again. Hopefully we can get some more of the community from Sim Racing 604 on these broadcasts, and maybe we'll be able to work something out later to actually maybe. What do you think, Mike? Do you think we can get onto the YouTube and go live there?
I'm sure we could work something out. Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm putting you on the spot.
No pressure, man. No pressure.
All right. Well, that's all from Giancarlo. So if Gerson, you got any parting words, it's all you, sir.
Well, guys, that brings us to an end for Season 5, GT3 Split Number 2, the Spring League for Sim Racing 604. That's taken a long time to say with one breath, but we're at the end of the show, guys. We will be back in a couple of weeks. Stay tuned in the Discord. We'll post the chat once the stream ends. So if you haven't joined, if you're new around here, be sure to join. Be sure to follow Mike at Sim Racing 604 on YouTube, and we'll see you back next season for whatever it's called. So stay tuned for the surprise. But yeah, guys, that's it from us and from Nick King, who couldn't join us tonight, but he'll be back next season. Have a good night, and we'll see you then.
Sim Racing 604. Get in the race.
Good job, guys.
Hey, you guys still here? I know we cut the broadcast, but if you're still here, we have a little message. Giancarlo, we got one thing we forgot.
Yeah, we've been thanking everybody else except all the great support guys that Mike had mentioned. We've got Mike Evans, who's the ACC server owner for the Discord, helping set everything up. Brian Nagy, who has been doing an excellent job for stewarding these races. Camilo Araya, Carter Close, who has been helping be the liaison between the community and the stewards and the league admins. Ed Berger. Oh my God, these the guys that are racing out there and putting up these things too, are dedicating a whole bunch of their time. Thank you guys so much. I know we didn't put it up on the earlier on the broadcast, but we want to thank you guys for doing all the hard work in making and providing us enjoyment and entertainment.
So hopefully you guys stuck around for the post show. But yeah, as you mentioned, thank you guys for all you do behind the scenes. And yeah, this is the real end this time. So go do something else, guys. It's not that fun anymore. We'll see you next season. Come back then and have a good one.
You're still here? It's over. Go.